Yo, what up? This is Aerli Austen, and you are listening to Jaxxonville.
Seems like I'm going through changes. It's hard to be humble and amazing. I'm not being cocky, I'm just saying. Live from Planet North Carolina, we are here, episode of Jaxxonville. And today my guest is...
Aerli Austen.
Actress, cool person.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. So let's get it started. This is not going to be formal. This is just us talking, except there's a big ass mic and a mini mic in our face. But how are you? How are things going?
Things are going well.
Good. And you're an actress, so let's get the small questions out of the way, and then we'll go into the bigger ones.
Sounds good.
How long have you been acting?
Since I could.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and I mean all the way back to when I assume I really had no concept of what acting was. So you know how you go to pre-K, and then there was the 5-year-old room, and so we would graduate basically from pre-K. And so they put on a little program at the end of the year, big stage, all of the kids from the class, and for some reason I was chosen to be one of the, we had basically a news desk. Okay. And it was me and this kid, John. Oh, I had a crush on John. But at the end
Shouts out to John.
Right. But I don't know why they chose me, probably because I talk a lot and I'm not very shy. But then I remember we were supposed to end the show with what every kid wanted to do when they grew up.
Okay.
And so, you know, you got your doctor, your nurse, your mommy, your astronaut, your doctor, you know, things like that. So there's a cardboard box that is made to look like an actual spaceship for this kid. And I just remember my only costume piece was a very plastic giant pair of star sunglasses, and I said I wanted to be a movie star.
Wow.
I don't know what prompted me on that either, though, because, you know, you have to imagine what you're watching back then, and this would have been, you know, mid-'80s. So right. Fraggle Rock.
Ooh.
You know, cartoons, things like that. So it's like I'm watching puppets even. The only person in this show is Doc, and we just run past him into Fraggle Rock land.
I used to love Fraggle Rock. The Doozers.
The Doozers.
My bad.
That's right. This is up.
They were the shit.
Mm-hmm. They did everything, and the Fraggles just walked around. We were like, word. Grab me some of that building you guys had propped up. Continue on, little ones.
They made working at that stage of my life, like, I was like, you know what? I want to grow up so I can work.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely cool being like, this is awesome.
Yes.
So what was your first, like, appearance? Like, what was the first thing you remember doing, like, as far as getting attention and people seeing what you're doing?
When I got to college, I mean, I did drama in high school, and you have so many people who are interested in different parts of it that there's plenty of parts for everybody. Right. You know, it's meant for everyone to participate, so it wasn't hard to be in a play in high school. But I will say, by the end of high school, they choreographed the entire show. I did Bye Bye Birdie. And I was, you know, Anne Margaret, the lead.
Okay.
And they choreographed the show around me because I cannot dance.
Really?
I cannot dance. They made sure that other people were singing at the same time as me because I had the acting chops. But, you know, with this little raspy voice, I wasn't quite the soprano that you needed to be. So that was when I kind of got a clue of like, oh, people actually think I got some chops. And so then when I got to college, I got into a show first semester. And people, you know, I was like, yes, because that's what I'm used to. Right. But people were like, you do realize you're a freshman on a main stage production. And I was like, what? Oh, that's good. Oh,
you're
go
like, okay.
Me.
Yeah.
Go me. So it just progressed like that. And then I got, I thought that Catawba College had a better somehow being a private school and whatnot, and it was super expensive. I was like, I'm gonna go to Catawba. I went for a semester, and that group of people was so very different from what I knew. And I, again, first semester, got a job that only had 4 kids in it, and I'm new, have not been on, you know, to work my way up the pecking order.
Right.
And then 3 freshmen were cast opposite me. And turns out I came back to UNCW because I was like, I do not like this. I do not like any of these people. They are not nice to me. Why? I had a frog to show them at orientation. Found a giant bullfrog in the middle of the quad, and everyone was disgusted. And I was like, oh, these are not my people.
Yeah, they were super bougie, huh?
Yeah, very. And they wanted to haze me. And so at one point, we were supposed to be walking hands on the person in front of you with your blindfolds on, and they're saying mean things. I was like, bitches, I'm a junior. Do you know who my uncle is? You know? And so then it turns out I thought that I had screwed myself for real. I was like, I don't like it here. Like, I really, really do not like it here. What the fuck am I going to do?
So there was hazing
at this private prep school. I mean, well...
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Crazy.
Blew my mind. I thought it was stuff of movies. I didn't know that shit was real. I really didn't.
I mean, you always hear about hazing in, like, sports.
Correct. Or frats, maybe.
Frats, sororities, but you don't hear about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But
middle finger to them.
Right, absolutely, in all ways. Like, there was this one dude named Larry, and I wanted Larry to be my best friend. He was the most flamboyant and hip, you know what I mean? And I was like, this dude is going to be my boy, and he hated me the most.
Damn, Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Larry.
Yeah. But then they considered it a leave of absence from UNCW, even though I just popped off the scene. So I didn't even have to tell them that I was gone or why I left. I just came right back and, like, picked up classes next semester. But the like, biggest moment of it all was at the end of that school year.
Right.
My uncle hands me a plaque and is like, well, here you go. And I was like, what in the world? What is
You're like,
this?
what's going on?
I looked at it that even though I left, disgusted with my situation, them bitches still gave me Best Actress. They still called me Best Actress after leaving after one semester. And
Really?
I was like, maybe I really do. This can't all be a coincidence.
Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And you took advantage of it.
Yeah, and when I got back, I did not it felt like coming back to all the homie. I was like, thank God I came back. Holy shit, I almost fucked up big, dude. Whoo! Okay, start again. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
So, what, as far as characters, right? Like, what are your least, like, when it comes to you picking a role, right?
Yeah.
What are the things that you look for the most, and what are the things that make you be like, this ain't really for me?
Well, the hardest thing for me to do is to play the super happy, like, lead of, like I don't feel like I fit a Hallmark movie.
Gotcha.
Let's say, because I'm gonna have to be somebody's fucked up aunt
Mm-hmm.
for it to look like I belong in this movie, kind of a deal.
I understand.
Like, for real, like, my favorite things to do genuinely are the most broken people. I remember I was in a film called Insignificant Others. It was independent, and they shot it documentary style.
Okay, that's dope.
So my character was the meth addict sister of this dude who's struggling, and so they're just following him around and his life's falling apart. So they were just having me in scenes when they described me.
Right.
But then at the end of the shoot, they were like, you know what, why don't we just go ahead and get a monologue of Aerli? So I did it completely, like, they didn't write me anything.
Oh, you freestyled.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
And so when I came out, and they were like, dude, look in my eyes. Like, whoa, dude, like, that, holy shit. Holy shit.
I can see you put, yeah.
And
Because even, like, talking
loved
to you
it.
right now, it's, like, but it's like good intensity. It's like very positive intensity. It's like, yo, I can just tell it's like, you remind me of me talking about hip hop.
Yes.
And that's the same.
Yes,
like,
I feel like
so
that's why we always
I
connected
feel that
over
energy
the years.
for sure. Yeah. And I could just look at your face and you're like, yo. It's one of those things, like, I think when you're an artist, when you know, especially when you know you're good at it, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. It's like, give a fuck what y'all. I know.
Yeah.
I'm nice with this shit.
Yeah, and the fact that there was no writing whatsoever. They just went in, and I literally had to take this character that I built, you know. They recognized that I actually put a little effort into it, I guess. Or that I just had a little something and they wanted to see more. But still, that's still on my reel. I'm like, yeah.
That's
that was
dope.
when I was like 23. But go with it, yeah.
Have you done a lot of projects to where, like, you come off the cuff a lot? Like, we have to kind of freestyle a little bit?
Actually, yes, and those are the most fun to do because there was a filmmaker in town, Joe Stauffer. You may have even met him, but that was his style. He was director of photography, and he would basically write a story of what's gonna happen.
Right.
And then all of us actors that have, you know, been pulled together working for him in different facets, different films, come together, and we're so comfortable together that he's like, all right, so in this scene, you guys just talk about this. You're doing a seance, Aerli, and then the power finally comes back on. And so you'll hear a noise, will shake the light inside. And so it's literally like action, and then it starts out with, okay, oh shit, the lights just went out. Okay, okay, so I have my crystals, and they're like, you got your fucking crystals? And I'm like, yeah, I do. We're gonna do a seance. Okay, just wait a second. And I'm picking through the box, just taking as much time as I care to. And they're just sitting there making contact, you know, eye contact with each other, laughing, you know, which I'm not supposed to notice, so to speak. It's just, those are the most genuinely, like, feel good when you watch it back and you're like, dude, we did it. Like, that's pimp. Like, that was so good. We're like, do you want to do another take? And he's like, no. All right. Moving on. And then we all high five, you know, and that also exists on my reel still.
That's dope.
And that project never came to fruition, which I'm sure that happens, you know,
Yes.
in music a whole bunch. You do something super dope, and then money comes into play. Emotions. We're artists, you know. Things come into play. People move unexpectedly. Family issues happen. And, like, some of the gold that you know was there is just lost in time. And half the time you're not able to come back to it. I went to the Bistai Badlands. And it looked like we were supposed to be in outer space. So I had a full space helmet and, like, you know, like, suit
the whole,
on.
Yeah.
And my one scene was me, like I lost, like, oxygen. I've run out of oxygen.
Right.
But it looks like we're on freaking Mars, dude. Like, I felt even walking on this, like, sand and sediment that my feet were sinking in. Like, no other motherfucker has ever stepped foot here for, like, a million years. But that was super fun, too. That film, Siren Song, never got edited. So I have that scene, and it is stunning.
Wow.
But never got made.
How, like, that's crazy because, like, I have, like, probably, like, a whole solo album that no one's probably ever gonna hear.
Right?
Like, ever. And it's funny because you get so caught up in the whole creative process of putting that together, and then when you don't get to do it, you're just, or like with me, you second guess yourself. You're like, you know, I'm a way better artist now. No one wants to hear this.
But they do.
Just like they want to see you, you know, and it's just like, so like, oh, there's so many emotions that go on with that. I damn.
Yeah, but still, that's what you take from the experience. You know, like, even those films will never see the light of day. That album will see the light of day, so I'm not putting you in the same category. Because you still have them. You have all control over that.
Right.
The actor, they're like, we can give you some of your scenes.
And you're like...
But it's not mine.
But yeah.
It's theirs.
Yeah. Now, have you directed anything yet? Or are you thinking about directing anything? Or
no, I think I would be a good PA. As in, like I could organize people. I could even do costumes because I can sew like a motherfucker.
I know
I went to Mama camp when I was in high school when it was a little too old to go to summer camp.
Right.
A little too expensive, perhaps. And so I learned how to can things. I learned how to sew. And I learned how to, you know, work on a farm and stuff. And actually learned what my grandparents were talking about, like sustaining for yourself. Do I do any of it? Some of it. But I can absolutely sew.
Yeah.
I still do that. I love it.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. So, like, okay, let me ask you this. All right, I'll you probably get asked this a lot, but I just want to know, and I hope the listeners are tuning in and want to know this. I want to know favorite actor, favorite actress, or I'm pretty sure
the actress is so very, very easy.
One of okay. Oh, you got one.
Yes.
Okay.
It is Dame Maggie Smith. You know her. You see a picture of her. She's an older English actress. Actually tied Kathy Bates and her. Holy moly. Holy
Bates.
moly. Because I want to age like her. I'm not touching my face. There will be a part no matter what I look like. And I've even enjoyed it. One film that we did here in Wilmington, River Guard, which got higher acclaim, got some bigger names down here. And I didn't actually have lines in this film. But I was also playing a meth addict. I'm not really good at that meth, man. Not really. I've never even tried it. I played parts, and I'm like, okay, that's a no. That's because on River Guard, they painted over some of my teeth. They made it look like my teeth were rotting out of my face. Yeah. Then all these famous people start walking on set, and I'm like, huge smile going, oh my gosh, it is so nice to work with you. Don't you love what they've done with my hair? Don't I look fabulous? And they would walk away with these like, uh-huh.
Like who?
Like, who is that? Is she supposed to be here? Like, is somebody going to get... who's that?
Security.
And then I went to the bathroom, washed my hands, things like after eating something, and I looked at my mouth to see if I had any, I don't know, poppy seeds in it, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I look like right now. Oh my God, no wonder nobody was wanting to like actually shake my hand in that moment. But yeah, but I find it the most hilarious when they make me up that I look the furthest from myself, or I have to play a character like that. So, favorite actor... Man, that's a little more tough. I really love is it Christopher or Christoph Waltz?
Yeah, he's good. He's dope.
The span, the exuberance from his face, his ability to play all of these evil characters, and you can't take your eyes off of him.
Yeah. I have not finished watching it, but the show he's got on Prime where he's the oh my God, he comes in as the manager after what is the name of that show? It's dope. I'm on episode 3. I gotta oh my gosh, what is it? I wasn't expecting to talk about him. That's a good one. But he's got a show on Prime where he's like he fixes companies, and there's a tech company.
Okay.
And they're
that sounds perfect.
Their guy dies and he shows up.
Yeah.
But he has all these weird quirks and they don't know where his background's from.
Yep.
But he's so good.
Yeah.
He was really good in Django.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the James Bond. He's good at playing a bad guy.
Yeah.
But he's great at a good guy.
Right. But I mean, the whole thing is like, I don't look like what I sound like. And that's been like a struggle for me. I feel like I'm in this no man's land right now because I'm still very petite. People tell me that I don't look as old as I am, which I will go ahead and brush my shoulder off on that every day. Right. But it's like, I don't look like someone's mom unless the role absolutely puts me as like a what would you say, like punk rock mom or something, like for
the cool mom.
Right. I almost wanted to tell my agent to stop putting me up for commercials.
Yeah.
Unless you want this variation, kind of a deal, like single white female may have a kid at home, may not,
right.
kind of thing. I don't really fit in looking like the lady next door. And then, of course, if you take words out of my mouth, it's like, whoa, So I make sure I cover up my tattoos, so you can't think of that. But the reality of it is, they have things to meet. They have a certain age bracket. So they really do say late 20s to 60s. So either they liked this 20-year-old blonde girl, or they liked this, heavier set, curly, maternal figure. It's wide open. And it costs money, like you well know, to even audition.
Yeah.
You want to put a single out?
Yep.
Make it.
Yeah.
So it's like people just think that they ask you to audition, so you show up to do it. Thanks. No, it's the gas to get there. It's the paper to print it on off the internet. It is, like the $25 fee to have it auditioned. If you get 3 auditions a week, that's already $75 out of your pocket, not knowing whether you're going to get it. There's not even a mass email. They could, from the other end, be like, we cast this role. Everything's done on this website. You go in, you upload your you shoot your video, upload it to here, do this, tink, 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 submit, edit, here's your reel, add that, slate, all these things, and 40 minutes out of your time, and you're not even guaranteed, and they don't even tell you that you didn't get it.
Really?
Yeah. And sometimes I'll get an email from my agent the night before. So that means the limited resources I have in town that are able to shoot, it would have to be late night for them. I'd have to get up and abandon my job for that morning.
Right.
Sorry, I got an audition, and I'm paying for it, and it puts me like 2 hours out, know? It's like we're putting a lot in, and
that shit is
you
real.
don't even know to move on. Like, unfortunately, I didn't actually realize that The Walking Dead was a comic book.
A lot of people didn't.
Right. Well, thank you for saying that, because I didn't. So my death, when Michonne shoots me with my own gun, it's a long shot. So they didn't even need me for a whole extra day. So basically you see from far away my truck with, and you see a little like puff of fire, and you hear a gun go off. And then the truck pulls off, gets back on the road, does a U-turn, and comes back, kind of a deal. So you're meant to know that she just killed me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they didn't show me dying. I could show back up.
Right. Yeah.
I could show back up. The audience at this point, like, they could really love Isabel. Like, maybe she just shoved me out, knocked me out, and I get to come back later. You're freaking out. Like, this is so exciting. All of the opportunities. And it's like, no, if you had read the comic book, then you would know that, like, she definitely doesn't come back. I'm like, oh.
Oh, word.
Again, I knew that. Yeah, I was just saying it would be cool if it did, though.
I'm just saying, though. Damn, that's, so. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. Birdie, I want to ask you about this.
Oh, Lord. All right, what you want to know?
It's comedy, right?
Absolutely.
And where was that filmed?
It was filmed at Ironclad Golf, and what is it, in Hampstead?
Okay.
It was completely unfinished for a remodel when we shot it. So all the signs weren't up, things like that. So I failed to give it its proper name, perhaps. My apologies to Ironclad out in Hampstead. But yeah, so we shot out there mostly. We had interiors at other locations that people were kind enough to offer. But yeah, very, very lowbrow comedy. People are genius in this town.
Yeah.
Genius.
It's funny. First of all, that's dope that you said that, because we just had a conversation, but we were talking from a hip-hop perspective.
Sure.
And we were talking about how many really good MCs, producers, all live here. And it's not just, and shouts out to Raleigh, shouts out to Fayetteville, shouts out to, Durham and Charlotte.
Absolutely.
But people, and I think it has a lot to do with it being a beach town. People forget how much talent is here.
I wouldn't even have thought of the beach being a part of it at all. Because, they say that, shows come here to shoot because we have the beach. I'm like, no, they don't. They go to Southport to shoot.
Thank you.
If they're going to do a beach.
Thank you.
It is too much.
Yeah. They do not come to Wrightsville.
No, they are not.
Stop it. Yeah.
No, they may come and do some sunsets, at dawn, and then peace out. Locations is like, we got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but no, to shut down Wrightsville Beach for any amount, no. Not even a block of it.
They're not having it.
Yeah, no way. So it's like, just like there are bands that you know of here in town. And you're like, gee, why don't they ever play? Turns out, they go to Germany and they kill. They apparently on the West Coast, everybody knows who He Is Legend is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Weed Eaters traveling to like Norway and stuff, and it's like they're kings.
I love Weed Eater.
You know,
Shout out to my man.
Yeah,
Kane.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like I just went and saw a show. Jason, I'm sorry I forget your last name, but Bronco used to be Toke. That kid is amazing. That band is amazing, and they're right here in our backyard.
It's
Nobody realizes the talent that's here. So Birdies was amazing because not only have I gotten back in touch for that film specifically with people that I started doing independent films with, and they've made their money somewhere else because it really is the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
It really is. There's so much talent here. So you've got every single role. Ed Wagonseller is a professor at UNCW. He taught me as well. He's in the film. You know, like all of the friends that have moved out to LA to try their luck at things back in town. Sydney Penny, she lives in town.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane the number of like cameos. Michelle Seidman, who was actually one of the the resources that films actors in town.
Yeah.
I believe she's one of two. She has a major role in it, and she's absolutely hysterical.
That's crazy. You know, and some of these names I've heard because I went to, a lot of people don't know this, but I went to school for film at Cape Fear.
Oh, nice.
And-
And you know the other side of the people that were
Right,
in it. Troy
right.
Carlton.
Right.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Cass Richard
Yep.
that worked on Law and Order for like SVU for like 20 years.
Absolutely.
My man Nick is out there now teaching. There's a lot of talented people. Like, it's amazing.
So many.
It's amazing. And I kind of feel like, and I know this is like kind of kumbaya-ish and like maybe not like realistic, but it'd be really dope if we could somehow have all the musicians, all the rappers, all the people that are involved in music, and all the film people just somehow come together and create something like massive to where, you know, they do the filming and we could do the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But
Well, some of my favorite things, I've actually done music videos for a
word?
local, so Youth League when they were in town. And I got to put on my friend, her kid's suit and put on this mask. So I got to play this like creepy dog-faced, skeleton with a red balloon. But also I'm the mom who lost her son. Makeup's all messed up. I look really sad. But I love because I would get independent film directors are doing that.
Yeah.
Getting, independent artists around town. And it's like, for some reason, you just get it on film and you get so much more exposure.
Yeah.
And it works out. And I love doing it as a community. I love still going out and seeing you at your birthday show was amazing.
Thank you.
Shoot,
I was so
good.
surprised
I
to
needed
see
that
you.
too.
That was awesome. You came out. I was so surprised to see you. That night was such a blur, and it was so much.
Well, for
going
you, it should have been.
It was so much going on, but it was a great night. Wilmington definitely showed up.
Yes,
I was very,
absolutely.
very, very thankful and humbled by that
Yeah.
evening. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate
Absolutely. But I really wanted to actually mention the whole strike thing. A lot of people don't understand the strike.
Because I do have some questions, so let's go.
But it's like, if you think about it, not any film, if you're a writer and you decide that you are on strike, that means that everything that has not been shot yet is still your property. You're on strike. Nothing may continue. Nothing. So obviously that means if you weren't already in production and you want to finish, or you get permission, I guess, by the writer, then everything halts, which means I haven't had an audition in close to 6 months now.
Oh, wow.
Myself. Not even a single audition. So it's like, I'm not even paying to do the auditioning. But at the same time, there's literally no commercials coming in. People in Georgia are having to stow their things in all of the units, I guess.
Yeah.
Storage units.
Oh,
and
wow.
then come and stay with mom and pops or somewhere that is cheaper than Atlanta specifically. So like tenants are moving.
Wow.
People, and then it's like when they actually do open back up, you're gonna have all those moving costs going back. And And so people are
Damn.
really, really, really struggling. It's just a taper down effect. It affects everything.
That's so crazy.
And so you got to have a job. I was lucky enough in my early years. It's so funny. I didn't realize until I got back from Atlanta the last time. I was like, dude, my boss is dope. This is the killest thing I could ever do. I get to be a painter.
Oh.
Like, and I'm building these muscles. I'm up and down ladders. I'm like, I kill it at this. And my boss laughed. He was like, I always knew what was coming when you were like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and I pick up the phone. It's like, it's Rusty, it's my agent. And so I'd answer, and he would be like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you were available for the dates. They're just asking about dates. And I'd be like, oh, yeah. And they'd be like, did you get it? And I'd be like, no. And then, a couple days later, oh my God. And I did get it. And then immediately I'm like, I gotta go to Atlanta. Like tomorrow.
Shit.
I'm shoot on blah, 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 blah. And he would be like, word, when will you be back? And after all these years, I found out that it was not awesome for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he was like,
I had no idea how good it was. I was like, dude, just go work construction. And even then, that was naivety. Because he did not like it. So literally, unless you're going to quit your job.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, and now you're getting a little bit older. I mean, don't you get it? You're not going to be famous. I'm like, no. That was never even my freaking goal. Right. I want to be known enough to keep doing this shit forever. Because I thought I might just actually have to suck it up and go work for a company that was going to pay me over the table. I was going to be on the papers. I was going to pay all the taxes. I was going to do all those things that I was actually going to, take a back seat to acting because I feel like maybe at some point I'm supposed to feel like an adult and, pay into the system. And then I call my accountant and he's like, you want a what? My accountant, of all people. He was like, but I saw that. I've seen a couple of things that you did. You're really good. Like, are you sure? And then, of course, it was, no, I don't want to do anything. And for real, I was like, I can't do anything else. So that's like you. It's like all of us. Yeah. And the idea is not to be famous, just work and actually get paid to do the thing that I love doing. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I don't care if everybody knows my name. I'm actually really glad everybody doesn't know my name because I still do get to make choices. Yeah. At this point, I just want to be reimbursed for my efforts.
That's real shit, and I respect that because I feel the same way about doing the music stuff. It's like, we know realistically we have to pay the bills and we have to do things, but that doesn't have to limit what we're good at and what we're really meant to do. You know what I mean? But I also feel like too, people that don't understand what it is to be an artist sometimes don't understand because maybe they wish they could be in that predicament, and so a lot of times they're kind of throwing energy at you that's like really that shouldn't be thrown, or sometimes like my mom, who's just a mom and is worried about her kid, just over worries and is like, I can't believe you're still doing this, blah 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 blah.
I know. I absolutely know that. My dad, the same thing, only he has never been like, well, maybe you should think about, or you should get serious about, doing something else. To my dad's credit, he is the biggest supporter I have.
That's good.
Shout out to Larry.
Shout out to Larry. What's up, Papa Larry? My mom and dad were kind of like that, but then they came to a Fuzz and Max show. Yep. And then that kind of was like, I remember my dad. Oh, shit. Yeah, my dad was like, he's like, I'll never forget this shit. After the show, I was walking them outside because they were leaving like immediately after the show, and my dad was like, hey, he's like, little white girl can sing. I was like, yeah. He was like, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. And then that was kind of the cosign, but.
I mean, it took for me, like, even though they were smaller scenes, didn't mean the check was any less for the day, kind of a deal. But when I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm going to be sitting opposite Owen Wilson. And he was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, it's not really a big scene. It's not going to, boost my, but I'm still getting paid a lot, by comparison. So, yeah, I'll sit opposite this dude and pretend like he sounds really interesting. And he was really nice. But then I got to do term life. So it's, what's his face? Terrence Howard. Oh, heartthrob. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, and at least the fun of like, I played a drunk mom. And so there was a little girl and her parents are there. And I was like, oh my God, seriously. Hi. Yeah. So I'm Aerli. I feel really bad, but it's in the script that I curse.
Oh, yeah?
Like, are we cool? Oh yeah, she's fine. And then I looked at them and looked at her and was like, is it fine? Yeah, but man. Vince Vaughn was awesome. Anna Kendrick was the most fun, I have to say.
I heard she was super cool.
She really is. Now, that was before she got way famous, and, you know, I would put my fingers in my ears when people are like, I heard she was a little bit snooty. Right. I was like, well, she wasn't to me.
Right. So. Yeah, where do those rumors? Because, you know, I've heard rumors about myself, and I'm like, I'm definitely not.
You didn't know? You're not allowed to have a day. You're not allowed to spill your coffee on you in the morning in your white upholstered car. Your cat didn't vomit and you stepped in it right before you're trying to leave the day. Your brother just called and actually, you know, things are going wrong with the plumbing at your house, which has renters in it. You know, like we all have real days. Yes. And I think just like you, just like me, like somebody could have been like, that girl was not funny last night. You know, because I did improv as well. And I'd be like, well, yeah, I got a test tomorrow, and turns out that I'd rather have more fun. So I already know that my day tomorrow is going to be boo. And Kristen's got her panties in a wad, so I'm just going to play the straight man the entire time and let myself be the butt of every joke. You know, we have days.
Oh, my God, we have days.
That's it.
And they're not going to be 100% sunny. They're gonna have some clouds and some thunderstorms and
absolutely
shit.
You know, the Robin Williams, you know, quote about how you never know what someone else is going through ever.
Never
at any point on any day, no matter how well you know your friends, strangers obviously specifically.
That is fact. And sometimes people just don't get it. But what drives me crazy about that though is that because you have some people that do get it, but then it's still all about them. And I think that's why I never fuck with mainstream shit.
I'm so bad. People who watch the news are like, so you heard about such and such and such and such. And I'm like, no, that sounds like I should know. They're like, dude, it's all over. I'm like, like I'm the one who can leave my phone at home. And like especially if I'm going to meet somebody that I know really well, and they're the only one who'd be looking for me. Everybody else I can get back to. I think we are a rare breed at this point. But I do not have, oh, God, oh, my God, oh, should I go home? Should I not go home? I don't have my phone. Who's going to call? Maybe I don't do that. I'm like, all right. We don't have a phone tonight, boy. Man. What up?
Girl, I envy you so much. Like, I lose my phone, and that shit turns into, like, zombie land. Like, I'm like,
I feel like you have more responsibilities than I do.
I do. Well, sometimes I do. I didn't mean to say it like, yeah, I do.
No, I know you do.
But just like, because I also do another podcast, and I'm also getting into the whole making clothes thing now, and
rad.
So it's like, but yeah, sometimes I don't want that shit. Sometimes I don't want my shit on me. Sometimes I don't want anybody to know where I'm at. I just need that time.
Absolutely, dude. Because I know I'm going to come back to it. I know there's really nothing that could be the hugest emergency that maybe an hour is going to make a difference.
And I'm just starting to get to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to plug my phone up and cut it off for like 30 minutes.
Well, I didn't realize. I mean, I was on a job site at one point, and I started to realize when someone else came to the house doing their portion of their work in the same house, that like every time my phone would ring, I'd be like, motherfucker. You know, and I didn't even realize how much I was doing that until maybe I was on a ladder. Maybe I had just crouched down on the floor, wouldn't even feel like getting back up. Maybe it startled me. But every single time my phone would ring, I would be like, motherfucker. You know, at varying degrees.
Right.
I can leave a bitch at home. What up?
I like that. Yeah, I think that's probably, because creating is already enough responsibility, right? And like, especially because you have to create with other people just like I do. And sometimes it's like, yo, I just want an organic environment where we can just do this shit and we don't have to leave the room when shit goes off. I don't have to stop you from talking so I can text. So right. I just, and like sometimes that shit is so hectic. It's like the phones are dope, but then sometimes that's just a fucking nightmare.
It is. And it's, you start feeling ancient when you say things like this, but it was kind of cool that if you were going to get a phone call from a friend long distance, number one, the excitement of not knowing. Now you need to know because you need to know who not to answer for.
There you go.
But it used, when we were kids, used to be like the phone is ringing. You'd be like, I got it.
Run into the phone.
And you'd be like, hello. And they'd be like, it is Barbara. It's for Mom. You know what I mean?
You'd be mad
Mom. And hand it off. But then when somebody would get to it, still the excitement of hearing, Aerli, it's for you. I'd be like, oh my god, is it Natalie? Oh, it's Sarah. No. Like, it's so exciting. Now you just, Mom, fuck that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's come a long way.
Like, sometimes you hear that shit ring and you don't even care who's on the other end. You're like, man.
Dude, my cousin, I'm so used to, because I know I will get right back to him. My dad, and we've been going back and forth because I'm about to travel back to see him and do some work at my grandparents' old place. But I was sitting at his table down at New Anthem. What up? Because my cousin on my mom's side was in town. I haven't seen her. She's had a child that's now 3 since the last time I've seen her at either a funeral, a hospital, or a family, like
so
reunion. Oh yeah, she's all the way in Charleston, dude. No, I didn't. Honestly, that's bad on me, for real. But we just didn't keep up. So the fact that I went, number one, my brother didn't recognize her because he didn't respond to the video that I took. And I immediately saw my phone, though, and saw that it was my dad. And she's sitting right here asking me how my brother is, and I'm like, oh, it's my dad. And she goes, no, that's your dad? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's your uncle.
Oh, my bad.
And I was like, shit, it's gotten really bad. The fact that I do know that sorry, Daddy, I will absolutely call you right back. It may take an hour, like I said. But, yeah, my cousin, who's not spoken to my father longer than me, obviously, or longer than she's spoken to me, and my immediate instinct was to silence that shit. That's how like, this is a complex. This isn't great.
Yo, you remind me of like a really cool Holly Hunter with not so much of a draw, but a slight draw.
Well, it depends. When I first got back from Whitsett, because I called the town of Whitsett after somebody kicked my door in there, because it is rural. It is. Yeah. There's no streetlights. You have one in your yard on your property somewhere, but there's not any streetlights. Mm-hmm. And so you actually do drive slow unless you know the roads, because you could go over a cliff in it. Not really. But where was I going with that? Crap, I lost my spot. Oh. So it's COVID and everyone's staying in. Right. The only place I'm really going is to the convenience store. Right. And I realize that I don't have my mask in the midst of everything. Right. So I go and find like a shirt and tie it around my head, and I see the lady who's going to be, helping me inside, saying, smoking a cigarette and going, oh, baby, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't need that. We're not doing that. It's fine. We're past it. And then I started to realize when I got back to Wilmington, people did say, I didn't realize your accent was so bad. And I was like, oh my God, I was there long enough. That's all it is. That's become one of my favorite go-tos. Mm-hmm. Y'all drive safe now, you hear? And also a kid from high school came down from Maryland and just would not ever let me live it down, saying exactly what my grandfather was going to do. Well, my papa's taking the tractor out and he's going to bush hog the yard. And he said, bush hog? What did you say? I said, bush hog. What is that? I didn't get it, that he was just going to make a big old joke about it. But yeah, when I got back from Whitsett, I was, y'all stay safe now. Okay, baby, what you need? Come on in. So I think I wrangle it pretty well sometimes, but yeah.
It's just it's just that whole like funny like Southern like vibe is just, you know what I mean? It's like funny, comfortable. If that makes sense.
It is so funny to me because my family lived just 15 minutes away in Greensboro. Oh, that's what I was getting at. If you're going down 40, you hit Burlington, then you hit Greensboro. I know everybody has seen Mount Hope Church Road. Exit 132. That Mount Hope Church Road is where I live off of.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I got my door kicked in. We're going way back now. Got my door kicked in. I call the police, calling Whitsett Town Police, and they're like, "You don't live in Whitsett?" I'm like, "Then why does my address say Whitsett?" She's like, "Oh my God, girl. I live in between Burlington. It says that I live in Whitsett, but I don't either." She was like, "We live on the county line, and they just assign you whatever willy-nilly. I don't know. No, but you live off Old Julian? Yeah. Me too. I live right over the food line. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we live, but I guess you just call the county, baby. I don't know." And so I had to literally, like, figure out who to call.
Wow.
To be like, "Hey, somebody kicked my door in," and the worst part is it could have been there for a month, and my dad had been coming in, and my brother been coming in and out of that house, putting my mail there for me, maybe for the duration of a month, and neither one of them saw it. So, who knows when it actually happened? But I feel so safe out there, because I just, I feel like if I made the right whistle, then my neighbor's dogs could go ahead and jump their fences and come to my rescue. Maybe I should get some goats, and then they could just, butt them in the butt.
Oh, God.
But I have to be careful because I do prefer not to sound quite like that. I find it hilarious, which is why it pops out all the time now.
Yeah. Do you find yourself kind of like putting the reins on it a lot, like when you're doing...
I have to,
roles and stuff,
because in theater at UNCW, we did some Shakespeare. Ooh. Shocker. Yeah. We did some Shakespeare, so I got pretty decent at classic English.
Okay.
But then when I graduated college, I went with one of my best friends, Justin Gear, to Atlanta, and I worked in Midtown, and I thought it would be really fun to not to my bosses, but to all of my tables, I was going to try an Australian accent. And this was a bit, and I told my friend Justin, who didn't know what his work was going to be, we also painted ourselves silver at the Americas Mall and stood and held signs and pretended to be statues and stuff. So this is the level of work I'm doing at this point.
Yes.
So I'm just, feeling like I'm going to have fun with people. And so it was the best because I'd walk up to the table and I'd be like, "Okay, so my name's Aerli. I'm going to be taking care of you today. Can I get you something to drink?" And then, of course, you're going to get the question, "Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Where are you from?"
Where are you from?
Oh, this is going to sound so cliche, but just, Sydney. I'm from the city. It's not, out using the Barbie or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, what are you doing in Atlanta? Why are you here?" "Oh, well, I came to be an actress, so I'm just trying to figure out if I can do it in this market or if I should go back to somewhere like North Carolina or something." And they would be like, "Oh, my God." And I would be like, "Yeah, so, but here, do you want to do me a favor? Okay, so I'm going to ask you, or I'm going to pretend I'm going to do my American accent for you, okay? And you tell me if it's okay, because I've been going to school. And you tell me what I do." And, "Oh, my God, yes, yeah, of course we will." And I'll be like, "Okay, hi, my name's Aerli. I'll be taking care of you today. Can I get you something to drink? Do you want some bread? Any appetizers?" And they would be like, "Oh, my God. Oh, my, it's perfect.
Wow.
It's fucking perfect. Oh, my God, girl." And I'll be like, "No, you can't be. No. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed. I'm going to have to walk away now."
Wow.
Be right back with your drinks.
And you would do that?
Absolutely, I would do that.
Tip game was great. Yeah.
That was the test.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Sure as shit does.
Damn right.
And to boot, though, Justin one-upped me. He came to work for this restaurant, like I said, after I'd been there for a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, and he got his job as an English person.
Oh, damn.
He straight up said he was from England And, like, to the managers, to the staff. Like, if he was at work, that motherfucker had to use that accent
all the
the
time.
whole time.
Yeah, he had to remember that shit. Yeah,
and I was like, dude, how are you going to do this? But he pulled it off. It was insanity.
Wow.
Fucking hysterical. You know, antics. We were bored.
That's crazy. That's dope, though.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, good times.
So, let me ask you this, like, what do you prefer, action, drama, or comedy? Or is it good, like, all the way around?
If, like I said, I did an improv, I was in an improv troupe, The Other Side, and I am good in improv being the straight man, which means that literally all the jokes are happening to you. I can do the comedy reactions.
Gotcha.
But when people, especially when they're young, want to be the center of attention, and I didn't have, if they could split second, like, get their joke out first, or a scenario, a place, you know, like that came to their brain first and they jump forward, it's theirs. I jump forward, I am following their lead. I have all the comfort zone with that. So that would be the comedy. I'm really good at letting jokes happen to me.
Gotcha.
But if I could take it, my sense of empathy is so much that I think it's the basis of what makes a good actor, in my opinion, is I don't have to agree with you. I do have to at least understand your motives to recreate how I think someone else would behave. So that's where it lies for me.
Gotcha.
And that's why drama I like best, because, like I said earlier, like, I've never ever done meth, but I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and watched, you know what I mean, like, to see, like, what kind of mannerisms, and so like I physically get into a character like that, because I'm like, they're tense, so you tense up your body. So now you know, you can even hear it in my voice, like, a little bit, like, I'm tense now. Now I have a tick. Like, I'm holding my hand in, and, like, my fingers don't want to stop. I want to cover my face because I'm nervous about people, like, noticing me. So I'm, like, looking around side to side, trying to pretend like I don't have this thing that's making me, and then my voice just goes in to this thing where you can feel the anxiety that I feel like someone being in the spotlight for a second on purpose. You know, like that kind of
I wish
thing.
I could have just seen this, what she just
Well,
did.
if you check out that, you can find Aerli Austen. If you look up Aerli Austen and then press videos at the top, The Insignificant Other, that one monologue that I did, which I did that specifically in. Because they're like, how did you even get there? Have you been around a bunch of people on meth? I was like, no, I read what the symptoms are, what you could expect in a patient that might be ODing, you know, or in some serious trouble, and to find out what their symptoms are, kind of a deal. So I looked up the symptoms, and then made my body, and so that way, and it's like, you know, if I want to cry, people are like, oh, so you're acting in your real life all the time, and I was like, well, like a stage character, yes. Like a fabulous stage character, absolutely. But no, I can't cry. I mean, I can cry on a film set. There are a million lights around you. And if you look not at the lights, but towards the lights for long enough, your eyes are going to water anyway. Then you have this tingling that your eyes are doing naturally because they didn't like that light. And now you've looked down into, you know, like a darker space. And so now your eyes feel weird. Now you add all those body things that I did, and I think about the peril this girl is in at this moment, then yeah, I could fucking cry like that.
Yeah.
But it all comes from, like, a physical place, for me.
And you got to let that all just feed in at one. Damn. Have you ever... I remember one time I watched an interview with Sean Penn, and I think they were talking about the crying scene in Mystic River.
Okay.
And they were talking about, and he was saying how, like, he had cried so much in that scene that they had to give him a little oxygen thing because he had went so hard in the paint.
Yeah,
like, have you ever been, like, so overwhelmed with the character until you felt that after they said cut, like, you were still like...
Actually, the Youth League video, we did it so many takes, and I really did imagine, like, losing somebody in a car crash. Like, I'm not married, but I imagined my husband, somebody that I made that commitment to.
Right.
What it must feel like, and again, it's film, so there are the lights, you know what I mean? They made my makeup look so very, but we did do it, and I had this kid sitting across from me. It wasn't that hard to imagine even in my own life having to tell my brother that my dad died or something like that. Like, I can actually emote that feel when they say, if I get all those physical, you know, things, like all the spit really does spit out of my mouth, because at that point you do it one take, now your mucus glands, and you are a little bit swollen, you know what I mean, around the eyes. So now there's more of a physical sensation going on with your face that, if you can relate to it and, you know, in any way, then you can do it over and over and over again. But I always tell people when I'm doing a scene like that, like, if you really want me to bawl, we are not going back.
Right.
Because there is no way you're going to get me same day to be clear-faced. So that should be the last thing you shoot of me today, is that, because this face ain't coming back.
You know, it reminds me of when I was watching when I was at my mom's house, and I walked in her room and she was watching Fences.
Yeah.
And that one scene where Viola Davis, I was with you, Troy.
Yeah.
And like she's snotting and and I was just telling my mom, I was like, I wonder what place she went to get that, because like when you watch that scene, even if you don't know anything about acting, whatever, just that scene and that emotion that she's providing, and you're just like, holy shit, I want to beat Troy up now too. So, and I was thinking about that when I asked you to come on the podcast. That was one of the things I wanted to ask you, like, when you have to go there, like, how real is that? Like, you know, and how... I mean,
and it's nobody's process, I think, is the same.
Right.
I don't know, but it's not like I grew up in this, like, really hostile place. Left to my own demises, and obviously I'm I was. And when I was a kid, I just had to suck it up, because that was... You know, we're going to church. Suck it up. Dry your face off. You know, like that. We do not make a scene anywhere we are. We get our little butts yanked out there if we act up. You know what I mean? Like, I just was already so thoughtful, I guess. And the fact that I didn't get to have tantrums. So I just learned to put it all inside. And it's really not that... It's never been that difficult for me to understand how... people have different lives, and like, I was very sheltered, but not from knowledge of the world. Right. Like, materialistically, I had no worries, but I did see the struggles of the people around me. So I just think I'm super empathetic, you know. Like, I'm one of those people that, like, I see that film, and even before she gets there, I'm like, and they're like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." You know. Just, and things that are happy, I'm crying immediately. Like, and I feel good, like, it's like good, because I'm one of those people that can, like, also be really upset about something, and then just, like, have a good cry, and then I'm like, all right, let's do this, what up?
Yeah, that's what's up. I was always wondering, like, when I would see somebody in a movie or whatever, and somebody get really upset, I'm like, wonder what they're thinking about, like, what...
I mean, there are also, they will put, you know, things, and all you have to do is focus on not blinking your eyes. That's another way to do it. I've never done that, but I've often wondered how other people make it happen, too. Because I'm like, "Am I a freak? Do you do the same thing?" They're like, "No, girl, I do not do that." I'm like, "I do not do that."
Right.
Like, what do you do? She's like, I hold my eyes open up like this, and then I wait for him to say action, and then I slowly bring him down. And then I hold my breath and try to hold my eyes open, because they'll cut it, you know, like when you're not... looking super crazy, or you hope that they will. If they're friends, they will.
Right. I always wonder, like the OG actors, like that are so good at crying, like how they do it in sync. Like for example, I think the best, like, male crier is Denzel, because like when you watch Glory and he's taking the lashes, he's just got like, it's like, okay, go.
Yeah.
Like, how you do that? Yeah. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not so much for, what do they call it? I'm going straight to hell in a handbag for not remembering this, where the style of acting where you actually put yourself in the scenario of what the person went through. Like, I understand, like, potentially losing some weight for a role, but losing every bit of body fat that you have. Christian Bale.
Machinist?
Yes.
Is that like
where
method
you
acting?
are super fragile.
Yeah.
Method acting, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like your health is seriously at risk for
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Like for the 2 serious meth addict roles, like if I had been like, no, I need to know what meth is like. No, I need to know. Like to me
that's kind of like too...
then you're not an actor. To me, then
right. That's a little,
like you're not imagining yourself in someone else's shoes. You are putting yourself in, and how is that
right?
still like and you want a pat on the back for that?
Yeah, like that, yeah.
I went there too.
Who do you think who do you consider like a great method actor in your opinion?
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio's gone there. You know, like he's gone there. I'm trying to think who else. That it's surprising. I mean, Christian Bale, honestly, was the one that surprised me the most, that he lost that much weight for that role, kind of a deal. But any of the, like, I went and spent all the time in Little Sicily or whatever, I went to New York, and I, you know, like, now I know what it's to be on the street. I have no idea.
I think maybe, in my opinion, like, OGs, I have to go with, like, young Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Like, younger. Like,
yeah.
Like, not now, but,
Yeah.
Travis Bickle, and when he played the character in Cape Fear, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Man, that's so many. That's so, like, I could just keep asking you questions.
Here's an interesting one that someone asked me the other day, or I asked my old boss who the other day. I was like, tell me, because he always gives me, you know, my little, you know, pat on the back. He's like, yeah, that was good. And he's from Boston, you know, so he's like, yeah, that was good. But basically, he said, like, also the contractor that I used to work for, I didn't realize that he was suffering through watching my auditions. Like, and this is, like, years later, because you're not supposed to let anybody see them right away if it's an ongoing show. But, like, 5 years later, who gives a shit?
Right.
It's out. It's done. I wasn't even in it, you know? But I realized that the contractor had been avoiding watching any of these things because he just saw me. But, and, like, I had to think about it. I was like, do I like that? What does that mean?
Right.
And then so I asked my, you know, boss man Matt, and I'm like, dude, you don't think that, do you? He was like, yo, I mean, I'm sorry, I've spent so much time with you at this point, like, I do just kind of see you, but, which is, you know, like, your friends who come and see you rap for the first time, like, even the joke your dad said, that girl got some love, she got some pipes, you know, still, it wasn't him commenting on you, because you're still just his son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so but there's still only one of you.
Right.
And there's still only one of me. So if I didn't bring any of me to my roles, then what's the point? The point is that I did something in a way that someone else was touched. The end. That's why you get a role. You know, if it's for, like, a film or something, if it's for a commercial, it could just be because you have the red hair, or that you don't have hair, or that you're short, or because they needed a tall woman because the dude that they cast, and, you know, you don't want to get that frame, you know, like, out of sync. You need somebody almost the same height. Or we actually cast a redheaded girl over here. So, do we got a blonde? Do we have a blonde anywhere? Like, that's how commercials are. You cannot get your panties in a wad because...
Because they're looking for so many different...
Yeah, demographics, you know? Like, in every way. We already got our, like, we married this couple, so we don't even need a younger dude. We're still looking for a kid dude. Or if there's a girl that looks like this one, then maybe they could be sisters. Like, it's literally no talent necessary. It's just what you look like for commercials.
Damn.
Which is a huge bummer because, like I said, you want to say that you don't want to do any more commercials because it's a waste of time. But then people are like, I thought you gave a shit. Maybe you're not a real actor, you're turning auditions down. And I'm like, well, I haven't yet, but I really want to.
Wow.
Because even the girl who tapes me at other times, like, she was like, dude, I can totally tell the roles that you like versus the ones that you do not give a shit about. And I was like, damn it, you shouldn't be able to tell.
Right.
And I was like, but you are so right. You were so, and I was like, damn it. Means I'm not even doing a good enough job. Because, like, there's some that I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, one line, I feel like I nailed it. All right, peace. You know, late. Yeah.
Damn. So, like, do you have any plans, like, moving forward now, like, with the strike slowing everything down? Are you still, like, what do you think you're gonna do now? I mean,
I'm doing side jobs like everybody else at this point.
Yeah, you hustle like all of us.
Yeah, like
right.
A friend of Cameron Botanities set me up with a girl.
I love Cameron.
Yes, she my girl. But like set me up with this girl who runs a figure drawing class.
Okay.
And so I went and I basically like really did like the ancient Roman poses.
Lord.
And then I thought she was like, it's going to be like 3 minutes, and then you could take like a little bit, you know, shake it out, and then you do another 3 minutes, then we'll move up to 6 minutes, and then we'll do a full 10 at the end. And after the first one, I was like, you know, arms outspread with a little arch to my back and my head curled. And I was like, I got this. And then she was like, halfway point, and I was like, do what?
You're like, wait.
Like, that's not it? And then, you know, your muscles start shaking at the end, and you just... I got this. And then 10 minutes, I was like, dude, I do not got this. But you do, you know, run off with your dollars at the end. So I've done that. I did landscaping, and I still get, like, it's a little frustrating. Maybe it's just the feminist in me, but, like, I went to work for my roommate's friend, landscaping. And he said near the end of the day, he was like, dude, Andy said you were an actress or whatever, but I have my doubts. But you kicked ass today. And I was like, no shit, motherfucker. Like, what is that? What is it? Just because I showed up as a little girl, or just because you thought I was an actress? You have to have other talents in this world to pull off doing the art that you want to do. So, yeah. Yes, I can motherfucking paint. Yeah. No, you do not need to carry the ladder for me. Yes, I can reach all the way up there. Yes, I can take the face plates off. Yes, I can use a saw. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't have showed up if you couldn't have done all of that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, shit. Like, you're a real painter. Yes, shit. I am a real painter.
Wow.
It's gnarly. I mean, that just goes to show how many different, things I've had to do.
Yeah. Damn, man. Well, you know, the great thing I feel like with being an artist is that we're great hustlers.
Yep.
Like, we can sell water to a well if we had to. If we don't have any other gigs and the bills are due, that well's getting some water.
Yes.
Yes, definitely is. Hustling.
Mm-hmm. Walking dogs, what's up?
Yeah, Mac, shout out to Mac. Right. Mac was walking dogs so much to the point that she has like a dog training business now.
Absolutely.
Side hustle.
Absolutely.
Like for real. So trust me, I know, man. I know. Do me a favor, tell everybody where they can find you. Like any links that you got, Facebook,
I mean,
Twitter,
honestly, yeah, I do not keep up with my Facebook very well.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, like I said, I had no interest in being famous. If I see something and I'm like, oh yeah, then I'll put it up. But you're gonna be very disappointed checking out my Facebook. I would say just Google my name. You'll even get to see my first headshot when I was 17. I actually had blonde hair. That shit is so for real. I only got to do one film with blonde hair, my natural hair. It's The Pigs. You can see me AERLI AUSTEN.
Okay. The Pigs.
That's what you're gonna Google.
You did that 2005?
The Pigs? Yeah, 2003, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I saw that on
it is
your
a
IMDb.
remarkably dirty film. And I mean in terms of context, I mean in terms of the vibe of it. It's hard to watch unless you can forgive a lot of the actual, you know how we have everything's in digital, everything's, I mean, granted it wasn't film or anything like that, but it's still meant to be very dirty looking, very immature-ish looking. Not immature, that's not, I'm sorry, Orner to Kill, brilliant director who's out in LA, motherfucking killing it.
Nice.
Anne Hesh was in one of his films. It was one of her last films.
Oh, dope. All right.
Yeah, so Order to Kill is just killing it. But that was my first film and the only film I'm in with blonde hair. I did a film called Altered, which you can all find or see on IMDb. You can find these films and photos from all of them. But I dyed my hair to brown, did 2 more independent films, and then was asked to dye it red. And I've kept the red because my voice sounds more like I do not look like your frat girl. I do not look like I play tennis or volleyball or I'm a beach babe, so to speak.
Right.
So, and I guess this also lends to what you were saying earlier about what I prefer to do. Drama. Right here.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you stopping by.
Yes,
so
I've had
much.
a blast. This has been amazing.
Dope. Yeah, and this is, by the way, this is like the first interview on Jaxxonville. So thank you for being the first one.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Well, look, for Aerli Austen, I'm Fuzz Jax. Welcome to Jaxxonville. We are out. You guys have a good day.
Late.